I am so grateful for another year of life and another birthday. And I promised myself last year that I would travel a little bit lighter. Hey everybody, I am so happy to see you today. Thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and Desi. And I hope you had a good, safe, happy week. And you know what? Yep, it's my birthday weekend. So I figure if you've been on Earth 68 years, well, you get to be a little bit self-indulgent. So what I wanted to do today is share with you 10 of the biggest lessons that I have learned while I have been on this earth. Now, it's not a very short list, but it's not a long list either. I was surprised. I really haven't learned that much. But what I have learned, I cherish, and I want to share that with you today. And then I want to hear some of the lessons you've learned. I wanted to make sure today that I also said a huge thank you to all of you who left comments last week on my video about moving up north. You moved me to tears. Your words were so inspirational. Your memories that you have with your grandparents, they made me just float on air. So thank you so much for your kindness, your wisdom, your love. I so adore you. So, all right, are you ready to kind of celebrate my birthday with me today? All right, let's do this. Believe it, I'm 68 years old today. Are you gonna sing happy birthday to me, Desi? I'm sorry. I can't give you any cake. Chocolate is bad for doggies, but look at that delicious bone you have. You don't like it, do you? One of the biggest things that I've ever learned in my life is that love has no rules. There is no manual that tells us how to love or be loved. When I met Bill, I was very aware that he drank too much and that he had a lot of issues that would be very, very difficult to live with. But I married him anyway. He was the love of my life. He was so special. He would look at me with such love and adoration. I felt I could do anything as long as he was my husband. I know because he had mental health issues. I did have friends say to me, oh, dear Lord, all those red flags, you can't marry him. Marry somebody normal. Later on, I remember when I was dating a lawyer, and well, it was actually just a few years ago, and he stopped by my apartment to pick me up for a company picnic. And I was in jeans, and I thought the cutest little top. And as we were walking to his car, he said to me, I hate to ask you, but could you change your outfit? I want to see you in a dress. I want to show you off. And you know what I did? I went back and I changed into a dress. And then halfway there to the picnic, I asked him if he would take me home. And he said, what? I said, please take me home. I was in tears. I wasn't in tears because he asked me to change my outfit. I was in tears because I did it. and he drove me home. He was a perfect gentleman. Well, he was a lawyer. Maybe he thought I'd sue him. When Bill stopped by to pick me up for a date, I could be wearing a garbage bag and Bill would say, "Baby, you look like $1,000,000. Every single time I have been successful at something in my life, I have known the real reason that I'm doing it. I have drawn a finish line. I don't just have one reason that I pluck out of the air like, oh, I watched a video about, how I should walk a half hour a day, so I think I'll do that. Well, why are you doing that? Well, I don't know. I saw a video. For me to be successful, I have to see a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it has to be more than just serving myself. I have to see the big picture of the end result. Okay, an example of this is I quit smoking 10 years ago and I started to pack on the weight. And for me, the reason was, well, I want to look good in my clothes. Well, that wasn't a good enough reason. The only time I've ever been successful at a diet is when I really understood the real reason why I wanted to lose weight. It wasn't so I would look good in my jeans, although that's always a plus. I just wanted to look healthier and be healthier. I wanted to live longer. So I made a list of all the positive reasons that I wanted to lose weight, and then I could do it.
We were never meant to carry a suitcase of guilt, a backpack of grief, a duffel bag of doubt, fear, shame, and all the other emotional and spiritual burdens that weigh us down.
I was talking about how I have never felt this need for plastic surgery. Even though I know I'm pushing 70, it's not on the top of my list of anything I want to do. And so every time I say that in a video, I think I inadvertently hurt some feelings. I don't want you to think that I ever judge you for anything that you might do to your body or your face. You're a beautiful woman, and I respect that. But you gave me the key when you told me, I fixed my face, and now I feel better about myself. One size does not fit all when it comes to being a woman and what makes us feel good about ourselves. And there was a time where I truly did care about my appearance and I wanted to look younger, and I was always so nervous on a date wondering what he was seeing in my face. And I don't feel that way anymore. No amount of plastic surgery is going to make me feel better about myself. That's just the way it is. I think at this age, what would make me feel better about myself is if I face some of my flaws and try to correct them. Some of the things that I have done in my life, I feel need correcting. Sometimes I wish I wouldn't talk so much. I wish I would listen to people more. Sometimes I just wish I would be somewhere on time. I wish so much that I wouldn't spend so much time on myself and that I would concentrate more on others. I have so many things that I want to change. It isn't that I don't see my flaws. But what really hurts me is that so much of the time I don't see me doing anything to correct those flaws. That would make me feel better about myself. Maybe my surgery that I need to do is maybe a rededication of who I really am and who I really want to be. You're probably thinking, guys, she's 68. She doesn't know by now? No, not really. I got got all fancied up. I got my new shirt on, and Hal is taking me out to dinner. I can't wait, and he says he has a surprise for me. I hope I don't end up in his trunk. For me, one of the things that has given me a happier life is understanding human nature and understanding the actions and emotions of the people that are in this world. And one thing that I have really noticed is greed. Greed in people. You know, especially when we get older, it's like we have X-ray vision. We've talked about this before here. It's like we can just see through people. It seems like every time we turn around, somebody's trying to sell us something. It gets exhausting. And the older we get, I swear, the more our ears perk up as soon as they say 3 easy payments. Never being satisfied with what we have. Always thirsty for something new and better. I've just had to be very, very careful of people who might manipulate me or fill in those gaps that I have sometimes in my life because of maybe fear or loneliness. That there's somebody there. I mean, not just like a TV preacher or, somebody on the corner trying to sell me car insurance. It's everything. But it's the greed that I see in other people sometimes that makes me so sad.
Greed comes in all shapes and sizes, but greed to me is living in the lap of luxury at the expense of so many other people.
One of the biggest lessons I've ever learned in my life is that being a woman is kind of a specialty. And that we as women have to embrace that, and we have to be strong. We have to be really strong. And I have never let a man talk down to me. And that's just the way it's going to be. And even when the man was my boss and he was challenging me, I would always stand right up to him, even though I needed the job and I needed the money. It just wasn't worth it to me if this guy was going to bully me. And that's how I've been all my life. I have to stand up, not just for me, but for every woman that I feel is just shoulder to shoulder with me. I don't want a man to talk down to me. I don't want a man to bully me. He's just not going to get away with it. I am suspicious of people who don't like cake. What's up with that? Is it that old movies rarely hold up, but old boyfriends do? If you have someone that tells you they love you on the 3rd date, check your wallet. Next time somebody tells you you're on the back 9 of your life, tell them that golf sucks and that you play baseball and you're in the first game of the World Series. When somebody looks you in your eyes and asks you what they're doing wrong, chances are they already know. When I look back on my birthdays, the number one emotion that I have felt isn't happiness. It's just being grateful. How many times in your life have you been told, hey, there's no do-overs? And you believed it, right? Well, you believed it because it's true. There aren't any do-overs. But what they don't say is there is a thing called redemption. We can reach out. We can right wrongs in our life. We can change our destiny. There is redemption. Every single time you say, these three amazing, powerful words to somebody, the earth moves. I am sorry. Those three words have so much power, and there is so much healing. The number one thing that people regret isn't the job they didn't get or the money they didn't make. People's number one regret is the way they treated somebody that they loved. And so many times we think because we're estranged from someone, that's it. There is no do-overs. We can't change these circumstances. But there is redemption. I have lived this. I have known this, and it changed my life. There are things I hope to tell you someday. But right now, I truly am on a road to redemption. I'm trying to reach out to old friends, to old family members. It's different than a bucket list. I think it's more profound. And it touches so many people's lives. And that means it has the ripple effect. So if I could go back and tell myself one thing as a young girl, I would say, yeah, there aren't any do-overs. So be careful with your deeds and your actions and your words. But if you fail, know that there is redemption in your future. Sometimes I think the most important thing that I ever learned about life, I learned at 13 years old when I heard a song by Simon and Garfunkel called Bookends. And the lyric was, time it was, what a time it was. I have a photograph. Every day that you get to walk, feel it, experience it. Because someday you might not be able to move your feet. I have a photograph. Preserve your memories. They're all that's left. Hey everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I loved every second of it. And Desi did too. If you get time down below, maybe share one of your favorite life lessons. It would be so wonderful for us to, I think, share some of our experiences. Please have yourself a wonderful, happy, safe, brand new week. And when you're done with your week, you come back and see me and Desi, okay? All right. That's a deal. We'll always be here. You have a friend that never picks up the tab? All right, do this. Invite them out to the most expensive restaurant in your city. Then when you get there, order a big dinner, and then when the check comes, pretend you forgot your wallet. Don't do this unless you know CPR. It won't be good.